Aloha. I recently filmed a video on the masculine energy, and I decided to take this particular piece out and make it its own video. And the reason why is because it was going over some masculine energy, but it also really had a lot to do with leadership in general. Now I wanted to explain the clip a little bit because it's going to go straight into the information. And with that, we all have masculine and feminine energy inside of us, whether we relate more to being a male or a female or binary or anything in between. We all have the different energies inside of us. So just please know that when I'm saying masculine and feminine, I am not talking particularly about a male or a female. We both have those energies in us, and we can use both of the energies at different time points depending upon our communication. So what we're wanting to communicate to other people, and the reason why this is so important to be able to know if you're more in your masculine or if you're more in your feminine. And when you're communicating, who you're communicating to, are they in their masculine or are they in their feminine in the moment? And by knowing that, the reason why it's important to know it is because you can then know how to change your communication style to be able to meet the other person where they're at. Because true communication, we have this tendency inside of us, it's perfectly natural. We want to communicate how we want to be communicated to, which is fine, that's natural. And sometimes the other person, well, they also want to be communicated to how they want to be communicated to. So when we're trying to go into a situation and maybe there's conflict, or maybe you're just trying to communicate with maybe a loved one or maybe a business partner, and you're trying to communicate with them in a way that gets your point across. We want to make sure we know where we're coming from and where our communication is going to. So how are they going to perceive our communication? Now, of course, at a certain point, we can never control how the other person's going to perceive us, and we can help the situation. So we can do things to be able to be in our own energy and be able to communicate in a way that is beneficial to the conversation for both of you. So jumping into this video, I do use things like he and she and different pronouns like that because, well, it's too hard to list all of them. So if you don't resonate with one of those pronouns, if you don't resonate with one of those gender identities, please know that what I'm speaking of is the person who's more in the masculine energy, which has nothing to do if you're male or female or anything in between, or more in the feminine energy. With this video, what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to communicate more effectively with whoever it is you're speaking with, whether they're male, whether they're female, again, like I said, or anyone in between, and where they're at in that moment. Because like I said, it's within all of us. So me, I resonate with being a female. So within me, though, is that masculine energy. Sometimes when I communicate, I'm communicating from a masculine perspective. Other times when I'm communicating from a feminine perspective. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the video and see how to become a better communicator with your loved ones, maybe a romantic partner, or how to become a better communicator like in a business setting as well. And one of the reasons why I'm so grateful for the breakup is because of a piece of this that I was able to realize that I hadn't really realized previously, which is when you're leading from the masculine, you can lead to the masculine as well, or you can lead to the feminine. Now, a lot of the times males don't know how to lead to the feminine only because they're so used to leading to the masculine. This is perfectly fine and natural, actually, because most of the time males are leading like in a business setting. And in a business setting, you're often leading to other males. And so you're actually leading masculine to masculine, which is an appropriate use or an appropriate way to lead. However, when you're talking to your female, when you're talking to your partner, you actually want to be able to lead from the masculine down into the feminine. If you're not able to lead into the feminine, then what's going to happen is you're going to lead from masculine to masculine. And that type of leadership doesn't necessarily put her in her feminine. Sometimes it can keep her in the masculine, which is more of a business relationship. So in a romantic relationship, you want to make sure you're leading from masculine to feminine. In a business relationship, if you're on like kind of more of an equal footing, or maybe even if you're like a VP, or maybe you're talking to like middle management, you can possibly still go masculine to masculine. At a certain point, even in a business perspective though, if you're leading from the masculine, sometimes you still have to go down into and lead from the feminine, or lead to the feminine. And the reason why is because, again, you have to know where the other person is. You have to know where you're at as a leader, and you have to know where the other person is at as your follower. Where are they on the spectrum? Because if you come into a relationship, a romantic one, and you're leading masculine to masculine, you're actually activating her masculine energy because you're leading masculine to masculine. And so she's going to go, oh, this is how I participate at work. No, she doesn't think about this consciously. All of this is in the unconscious. And when you are leading from masculine to masculine, you put her into work mode. You put her into, oh, okay, this is the same way that I interact with my coworkers, or I interact with my boss, or I interact with my employees. That's why in a romantic relationship, if you're wanting her to go into her feminine, then you have to lead from the masculine, but you're leading to the feminine. Now, the whole thing about when we were on the walk and we're walking and I'm like, oh, and he's like, what direction is it? If I was his employee, I might know he's the boss. He knows what direction to go. I'm just gonna like wait for him to figure it out and then tell me what to do. That actually works. However, if you're in that situation where it's, where are we, that kind of thing, that activates the feminine. Ooh, my man's in distress. Let me help him. Let me take care of him. So, and then to be able to tell her, well, I don't care if I'm lost. I don't want you to say anything. That's boss to employee. That's, we're going this direction. I don't care if you understand it. I don't care if you get it. I have this higher level vision. I'm taking you. I'm the boss. It's my job to say this. That's leading masculine to masculine. That, if you're trying to be in a romantic relationship, won't work. Because again, you're either going to activate her masculine, or you're going to activate her submissive into such a realm to where she doesn't feel good emotionally. She doesn't feel valued. If you're a boss, kind of almost the same thing though. It's just a little bit of a different energy. So for example, at work, we had a situation where I was on site, so I was training, so I was out of office, and one of the other VPs was talking to another employee, and they kind of got into a fight. Now, we're a family-run company, so it's not a fight where we're like they hate each other, they were, you know, cussing each other, not that kind of thing. It's just families fight, families disagree, it happens. And they kind of like got into a thing where they were butting heads. And I was like reading, like we have this chat we do, so because we're all over the country, so we communicate through text and stuff like that. And so I can see the chats, and because I'm doing something else though, I'm not like responding or interfering with the chats. So I'm watching all of this happen, and in my mind I'm going, oh, I know what's happening. And so later I have a meeting with everyone, with the upper levels, and I'm like, okay, so here's what's happening. You were leading from the masculine to the masculine. Again, in most work situations, this is fine. However, the particular employee, when they were butting heads, the reason why is because the other employee was in her feminine. And so leading masculine to masculine, it can seem aggressive. The other person didn't mean to be aggressive. It can seem like you're hurting the other person's feelings, or you're being hurtful, you're being aggressive, you're being too direct. It can seem like that from someone who's into the feminine, in the moment, because if they're in the feminine in the moment, sometimes there's more of a sensitivity, because the feminine energy brings in sensitivity. It's why, you know, mothers are so good at nurturing, and it's the feminine energy that's the nurturer. So if you are a nurturer, you naturally are more sensitive because you're feeling into other people's feelings. And so when you're doing masculine to masculine, when you're leading that way, then what can happen is the person, if they're down here and they're feminine, they can feel like you're being aggressive or attacking them, or like, they can get their feelings hurt. So one of the things that was happening when he was like, well, I don't care if I'm wrong in the directions, I'm still wanting to lead you. That's leading masculine to masculine. Guys, if you're doing this in your romantic relationship, or even if in a business perspective, if an employee is not, sometimes they like won't listen to your lead, they'll say something back, or they'll say something about like maybe not being comfortable, or something about like, I feel like you're demanding, or if they give you kind of some sort of like feedback by that, or worse, they go and talk to HR and you get feedback about that you're coming off as aggressive or demanding or something like that. Pay attention to that, because what's happening is you're up here with the masculine and you're trying to go to masculine energy, but they're with feminine energy. So you need to come masculine to feminine versus masculine to masculine. Because if a woman doesn't feel safe, then she's going to be activated into her masculine, or she might, cry, whatever else might be happening. If your employee doesn't like trust you, then they're going to be questioning not only what you're telling them in that moment, but they're going to be questioning further directions, and they're going to stop listening to you, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So guys, please know where you're at. Are you in your masculine, or are you in your feminine? And know where the person who you're trying to get to follow you is at. Are they in their masculine, or are they in their feminine? And then know where they're at on the spectrum as well. Because if you're up here higher vibration masculine and they're like lower vibration feminine, you're going to have to be more sensitive than if they're up here higher vibration feminine. Higher vibration feminine, you can be a little bit more direct. You can be a little bit more, we need to get this done. I need it to be done now, and I will explain it to you later. If it's in an employee type of situation, then they'll be on board with you. Because you're giving them, hey, I'll talk about it later, but I just need to take action right now. Because you're giving them that, then they have something to hold on to of like, oh, he's not trying to be disrespectful to me. He's not trying to be demanding of me. It's just we need to take action right now, and then we'll come back together and have a longer explanation of like why. Same thing in a relationship. If he would have said something to the effect of like, it's important for me to be able to lead you, and then I would have said, okay, but I'm not comfortable being led in this way, then we could have had a conversation of what way do you feel comfortable being led? And then I could have had a conversation with him about, I would like to help you. I don't feel comfortable getting lost for no reason. I would like to help you. And we could have worked together in a synchronicity. And ultimately, as a couple, especially if you want to be high-performing power couples, you 100% need to be in harmony, need to be in sync, and you guys have to make sure each other knows when to lead and when not to lead. And had I understood that a little bit more when I had the meeting, because at the time, it's funny because you ask for something from the universe, and the universe says, oh, okay, you want to do more research on the masculine and feminine energy? Awesome. So here's a situation at work where you can see how different energies interact. Oh, wait, you didn't quite get it to the level that I needed you to, though? Perfect. Well, here's this breakup for you. Now you can truly understand it. So when I was having the meeting, I didn't fully understand the difference between teaching from masculine to masculine and masculine to feminine. And even talking with other psychologists, so far, I haven't come across any information that explains it in that way. If you have, please let me know, and do comment below, because I'd really love to do more research into this. And it's a concept that I'm delving deep into, even creating questionnaires all around it. But it's a concept that I'm delving deep into because I really want to understand and be able to spread the knowledge about the different ways of communicating with people, so that people don't butt heads, so that people can open up and have a broader spectrum of understanding for each other and a better conversations, to be able to come together and to not have to have something explode, whether it's in the workplace or whether it's romantic, and so that it creates a higher vibration for the entire earth. for the entire planet, so that you are able to operate on a higher vibration. You as a couple or as, you know, partners at work can, or team members at work can operate on a higher vibration, which then spreads out to society. So society itself is operating at a higher vibration, and the planet gets to raise its vibrations as well. If you want to know more about the masculine and feminine energies, I've been doing a lot of videos on this lately. It's been one of my big focuses, and I even have a quiz so you can go ahead and take the assessment whether you're more in your masculine energy or whether you're more in your feminine energy. And there's a whole masculine and feminine therapy built around that. So I've actually been working with another psychologist and getting that information collected to be able to give you guys an assessment. It's absolutely free. You can go take it. It's in the link below. And you can send it to all of your friends, share it. We really want to build up this information for people to be able to make the world a better place, basically, because the more we're able to communicate with each other, the more we're able to understand each other, it takes us to a higher vibration. And when we're in that higher vibration, we are able to get our needs met. We're able to meet the needs of other people more, and there's more of a flow. There's more of a give and take instead of just a take, take, take mentality. So go ahead and take the assessment in the link below. Find out where you're at, and there's also more information on it as well. So if you're wanting to know, cool, okay, well, here's where I'm at. What do I do with it? Click in the link and you'll find out all the information. Aloha, I love you all, and as always, please choose love in everything that you do. Mahalo.